Hello YouTubers, it's November 10th, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. God bless America. Wearing my Ed Norton hat. If you don't know who Ed Norton is, you're not my age. If you want to know, comment down below who is Ed Norton. Anyway, this is Secondhand Dan, and I'm coming to you from secondhand land. And that would be the Penny Pincher Thrift Shop. Hey, Rofi, let's say we go inside and check out the second-hand land. Let's do that. All right, I'm just a second-hand man living in a second-hand land. Up to my eyeballs in antiques and collectibles. Well, I thought I'd show you a couple of my pick-me-ups, things that I picked up in the last week or so. So we're just going to play it as I come across them. They're not in any particular order from the pick, but here's a pick that yielded some giant size Christmas candles. I take it these are for outdoor display. Plastic bases, and there's a cardboard tube. Big size light socket in it. Nice pair of them. And from the same place came this vintage ashtray. I guess it would hold an ashtray. It would hold your lighter. It would hold your spare cigarettes. This all came from, well, these three items at least came from an attic space over a man's porch that was only like half a mile up the road from me. So that was nice. There's a couple more items in here that came from him also. So here we go. Some soldiers, Christmas soldiers. I guess they look kind of like the Nutcracker. They are what you call a hard plastic blow mold. I'm not sure of the make on them, but I suspect they're made by Union. So you place for a light bulb in each one of those. So I guess at Christmas you could put one on either side of your front door. All right, that's enough of that. All right, here we go. The reindeer came from this same attic space. There's actually a pair of them. These, I believe, are Biko. That's not his name, personally, but a Biko manufacturing company. So these are not the hard plastic compared to those soldiers. These are got more of a vinyl feel about them. This guy's in pretty good condition. Probably made in like the mid-60s. I guess he's trying to eat out of the trough there. And it had me a little bit flummoxed for a while. I said, okay, there's a light bulb inside. How do you change it? Well, there it is. A screw right there on the collar. One on the other side as well. So his head would come off. He would be able to change the light bulb inside. Like I said, he's in pretty good condition. I think that's Dasher. Now, Blitzen, he's not doing quite as well, but he's still not, horrible. But Blitzen, he's got his crack's been cracked. So somebody put some glue on it. It's holding, but they should have got around the painting it white. That would have helped. But it also has a little hole in the back of his leg. But overall, consider, he's like probably 60 years old. He's in pretty good condition. Now, that attic space over that porch just kept giving. And right now I'm in the middle of surgery on an elf. I've removed his head in order to swap out the light bulbs inside. Well, whoever last was inside here, you can see that socket standing upright. It had a bulb in it, and I had to reach in with a pair of pliers. I put tape on it to get that bulb out. Well, I could get it out, but I can't get the new one in. My hand won't fit in there. I can just barely touch the socket. So I'm going to see if my wife, when she gets back here with her feminine, delicate hands, can go ahead and thread a new bulb in. And the idea is I want to put LED bulbs in rather than the old style incandescent, because those old style, definitely they burn out a lot quicker and they take more electricity, and they do funky things like this. Well, I'll show you on his brother what happened. But anyway, this one goes up into his head. And you're probably asking, well, where is his head? His head's back there on my workbench. I actually had to, I thought if I took his head off, I'd be able to reach in further, because I was just stretching the spring and reaching past it. But that didn't get me all the way in. So I took his head completely off. And while it was off, I noticed it had a crack in it. He's a crackhead. So I said, let's take care of this elf's head. Now, if I can remember where I put the elf's head, let's go find it and I'll get back to you. Do you see what I see? Ahead, ahead. There's a missing elf's head. Here's the elf's head. And he, like I said, was a crackhead. You see that hairline crack going around over the top of his ear, and then it jumps up over his brow, the top of his forehead. Well, it was almost cracked enough to be like a hinge. So I put some gray epoxy. I didn't have clear. Clear would have been a lot better, but I figured I ain't waiting till I get clear. I just made sure I wiped it real good when I was done with the whatever squeezed out. And maybe I'll just rub it with a red magic marker. But other than that, his head's looking good. See that loop there? There's the spring inside here. Right now you see it's going through the arm. Well, it crosses over under his head and comes out the other side and hooks up the other arm. And that's how he keeps his head together. Well, like I said, I was changing it out to LEDs. This one goes up in his neck and illuminates his head. The one down the body, like I said, they epoxied that in place. And not only did they epoxy it in place, they epoxied it at an angle pointing slightly downwards. It would have made a heck of a lot of difference if he had epoxied it facing upwards. And then I might have been able to get the light bulb changed. And also he has a light bulb in his lantern. Now that one I swapped it out with a new one. The old red one in it was dead, but I found a new red one in my supply of bulbs. So that I'm not worried about changing it to LED. That's easily accessible. The idea is we want to sell this on eBay. I believe he's also a Union Plastic. And he's got a brother. His brother's back there on the shelf. You see his feet. He's already listed on eBay, so he's good to go. I swapped out the light bulbs in that one with LEDs. He actually had a hole in his crotch. Let me show you. A hole in his crotch from the light bulb that was inside and just melted into the plastic because it dangled in the wrong place. That gives a whole new meaning to dangly bits. Well, this one I swapped out to an LED in his lantern. Maybe I'll swap it back out to a red one. But I've already taken pictures with the clear one in it and posted it. So, and that attic just keeps on giving. Those reindeer, and what do a reindeer need? A sleigh. Another part of a set from Beko. This was from about the early 1960s. And this sleigh is in like just about excellent condition. The only way it could be any better would be if it was brand new, still in the box. Now I have the reindeer and I have the sleigh. So what's missing? Oh, 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 oh. Yep. Santa Claus, Jolly Saint Nick here. He was part of the set that was up in that attic space. You can see he doesn't really have a full set of legs. That's the way they designed him. So it almost looks like he's kneeling. But if you take him and you place him in the sleigh, there you go. So that's pretty much what I got out of that attic space. And I was well pleased with that. It's been a while since I've had some interesting blow molds in my store here. And another item I got from the same gentleman that wasn't in his attic, but when I got there, he invited me in and he said, "Would you be interested in this?" And I said, "Yes, I am." So let me show that to you. Here's that other item from the same man I got the blow molds. It's an electric bottle of whiskey. What do you think? Okay, electric bottle of whiskey. I bet it lights up. Well, let me show what's really going down with it. Take this cord off. Shenley. Now here in Pittsburgh, and we do have a Shenley Park, but I don't think there's a real connection there. Just a coincidence. Lots of cord. This is what the collectors call Bruina. Anything? All right, well, I'm getting ready to plug it in. If you see, there's a motor on the side. Plugged in. Check that out. Now by Elegance. No extra cost. Isn't that cool? This is the only one I've ever come across in all my years. I mean, I've seen whiskey displays, but this is the first time I've seen this one. And it's smooth. I mean, the operation of the machine. I don't know about the whiskey. I can only assume it's smooth. If you have an opinion on their whiskey, let me know. I don't know if it's supposed to light up. I haven't had a chance to really dicker with this one, but we'll look into it. It does have a standard looking bulb. I'll probably change it out to an LED. I had ordered LEDs from Amazon and I got 6 of them. And apparently I've used them all up. I guess I should have ordered a 12-pack just to have them on hand. What's nice about this item, it doesn't need any work other than maybe if it takes a light bulb. I don't know. It's actually a cardboard housing there. All right, let me unplug it. Don't want to wear it up prematurely. Sell it while it's working. Now those over the porch and attic finds were about a week ago, but just like 3 days ago, I was at another location, a house about less than 15 minutes away. A family is running the estate because I guess the woman's dad had passed away, and looked like it was a bit of a pack rat type situation. But they said, go through and whatever you want, you can have. Those are the best deals, often. So one thing that jumped out at me right away was this item sitting on a couch. A metal detector by Quick Draw Pro. And it's even working right now. Push the power button. See if we can find some metal. There we go. Win, lose, or draw. I believe there's a learning curve with this thing. So I plan on taking it down to Florida because a lot of sand. It'll be easy to sift through the sand when this thing goes off. Hopefully I'll find something valuable. Now from that same location came the tartan tote, which is basically a green round picnic basket made out of metal. I saw one on eBay and it had the lid. I couldn't find the lid. I am going back to the house though, not just for the lid, but you know, we're trying to help the people out. They want to sell it and they live several states away and they want us to check out a couple more things. But anyway, I couldn't find the lid. You know, I only spent maybe a half an hour at the place, but I got this. But like I said, I saw one on eBay. It had the lid and it had a 7-Up label on the top of it. And I thought they were asking a lot of money. I said, but, you know, this is nice. It can be used as, how about as an umbrella stand? Or a wastebasket. Or you could put hats and gloves in it during the winter. Okay, so it's not a big deal, but it's kind of neat. I've seen them in red and smaller. In fact, day before I got this one, I threw a red one out in my trash because it was so beat up. And who knows? I'm not sure if that lid would have fit on here or not, but it definitely wouldn't have been a matching color, but hey. Okay, well, in that same space where I found this, in this house, this was down in the basement. You can see some surface rust on it. It's very dirty. But I was in the furthest corners of the basement. I had to, you know, go down the stairs, which were kind of wobbly and steep and narrow. And when you got to the bottom, they'd actually lean to one side. But also down there, I found this vise. That is a nice vise. It's pretty hefty. And I thought my gray Yost vise was a bad boy. But my gray vise would be the mama. This would be the papa. It's a Holland's Erie, PA 14.5. Very good condition. Very good. You know, surface rust on it. That's about it, you know. But it's all freewheeling. That's what you say when a vise works. And it's important that the, quote, chin is not cracked or bent. And this one is in very good condition. You might think, well, I should swap it out with the Yost. Well, if it was easy peasy, I would. But with the Yost, I had to drill one more hole. There were a couple holes on the end of the workbench already. So I had to drill one more to get this one to fit. Now, if I go to swap to this one, I'll be drilling another hole again, if not even 2 or 3. Well, I generally skip the back one because I don't think I've got that kind of heavy-duty work going on. I'm not going to mount a diesel engine in it or anything. But I'm going to wire brush this one up, put a coat of paint on it, make it look pretty. So whether I keep it or not, you know, yeah, it'll be a fun little project, dress it up. And maybe I'm going to learn how to like highlight the lettering on the sides. So that would look nice. Now, you might think 2 vices, you know, hey, that's okay. But I guess I have a vice for vices. Speaking of vices, look at that collection. I got a family of them. Well, I'm just a secondhand man and a secondhand land. I appreciate your checking in and seeing what I'm up to. You know, I'll try and make it more interesting. If you've seen any of my other previous videos, I talked about getting a camera other than the phone. I actually went ahead and won a bid on an auction on a Hero 4 on eBay. So I'm not sure how good that is of a camera, but I figured you got to start somewhere, you know. Just like I know I had to start somewhere just by getting on the YouTube, even if it was my phone doing it. But here, purchase history. So I won that last night. I'm waiting for the to be shipped out. I assume they're going to ship it out soon. Speaking of shipping out soon, I had on my lathe, I sent for a tool and the guy never sent it. Stopped responding. So that was very disappointing. So that's kind of set me back on my lathe project if you've seen that video. So maybe I'll do a part 2 on that. Here's it. You might think not interesting, but I think interesting, especially since I've seen some on eBay that's sold. So this trash can is built like a tank. It's a Witt Cornice company, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's in pretty good condition. That's just surface rust down there. So if we look at the bottom, real good. I actually got 2 of these at a yard sale. So trying to sell it, it puzzles me. It blows my mind sometimes. You'll see the same item on eBay and other people sold theirs. And here I go, mine's nicer than the 2 that actually sold. And I didn't get any interest in it in the first week. So reposted it. We'll see what happens. There's been items I've reposted, 5, 6 times before I either gave up or somebody finally got on board and bought it. So I'm in no hurry. Again, I say thank you. Thank you very much for watching the video, for spending time here with me in secondhand land. I tip my hat to you. Goodbye and thank you.